Good morning and welcome to the weekend Join the Dots, or early weekend Join the Dots. Doing this on Thursday morning after the Fed announcement, and what was very interesting was that every bit of the world was looking at the Fed. And what happened? Well, they couldn't agree. One wanted to keep rates where they are. One wanted to drop rates by 0.5%, and the body of the Fed said, no, we want to drop it by 1/4. Even the Fed can't agree. But the Fed are flying blind, aren't they? They're flying blind. And that's actually a BBC headline today. Fed flying blind. They almost admit it. Now, the thing is, what do you do when you're flying blind? Do you tell the truth, or do you make up a story to cover yourself? And the trouble is with this world now is that everyone is making up stories. I came to look today at XRP. I wanted to give you a piece on XRP because I know you want to see it. I know my viewing numbers go up if I mention XRP. There's nothing out there. There's nothing to tell you, so I'm not going to tell you anything. Simple as that. I think if you've learned anything about this channel, you've learned that I tell the truth. And I look for the truth, I find the truth, I tell you the truth. However uncomfortable, however nice, I don't care. I tell you the truth, okay? And that's on everything. My worst video in the last 3 months is the one on vaccines. I just tell you the truth. It's the way it is. But people don't necessarily want the truth. They want confirmation bias. They want someone to tell them what they already know and believe and think is the right thing. I don't do that. In all my life, I've been a bit of a maverick. Even when I was at Credit Suisse, I was the odd man out. And I did the most deals. Why? Because I was the odd man out. Because I didn't stick to convention. And I don't stick to convention when I read things. I read the truth. And the truth clashes with the narrative so often now. But the narrative is what you see time and time again. Media, press, television, commentaries. All you get is narrative. Health, vaccines, everything, climate change, everything in this world is narrative. And yet the truth is something very different. So looking at the truth, okay, looking at the truth, what are our performances? I've been with you now 4 months on Join the Dots. Agnico Eagle Mines, stellar results out last night, stellar results, got totally lost in the Fed, okay? Opened very strongly on the pre-market, got sold off as the market just looked at the Fed. This is it. There's obsessions out there. And people can't actually identify what's really happening amongst the colossal noisy narrative, newsy noise. It's garbage. But it's what we've got used to over the last 20, 30 years. In the last 20, 30 years of my life, I've seen the news completely change from investigative journalism to government-parroted narrative on everything. And that's really sad. It's really sad. Anyway, go back to what have we achieved? So since the 1st of July, when we started this service, okay, and I came to you and said, I'm going to tell you what I think is the right way forward, and that is gold, silver, and XRP, precious metals with a hedge in crypto. So if you're 100% crypto, I'm sorry, you're not following my thoughts at all, and you're not aligned with my thoughts, and I think you're in a very dangerous position. You could be in a sensational position, but you could also be in a dangerous position. And I like to hedge, I like to tell the truth, I like to give you the best chance of coming out of this, and this is what the aim of this service is, come out of this with a good and sound financial position into whatever the new world is. And we don't know, and that's why you have to hedge. We don't know what the new world is. Okay, in the last few weeks, China has lent London 100 to 150 million tons. Sorry, 150 tons, not million tons, 150 tons of silver to drop into the market at night to bring the silver price back from the escalating rise it had had up to 54. And it worked. And they got it down to 45 something. It's now back at 48 as I speak. Okay? But you have to, I've given you so many dimensions on the Western-China relationship. And it is 5D chess, if there is such a thing. And it's happening at such a speed and on so many levels. So why did China lend London 100 to 150 tons of silver to get the LBMA out of trouble with their short positions? Why did they do that? The logical answer is they need London. They need London to be there because London feeds them the silver and gold from New York. New York and London work together, and what China's doing is it's picking it all off London. It won't get it out of New York, but it will get it out of London. So at some stage, New York or America is going to stop doing that because it sees what's happening. The metals are moving east. So why did China lend this silver? I've got a good piece on it, but we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, Mario of Manico64 talks to Eric Young, and they go through this process. And I've got two excellent pieces on silver for you tomorrow, one from Michael Oliver and one from David Morgan, and they are just so calm, methodical, factual. I want the truth. I don't want clicks. I don't want the sensation. I don't want noise. I want the truth. And in that vein, my son, who helps me, and my partner here, Anne, who helps me, I have to give them something to help me. So I'm going to ask you to have a look at the link that I put in the description about how you could make a donation. It's all optional. You could make a donation to this channel to keep it going in the best way we can. Okay, and that's on Stripe. And it gives you a little picture of $10, but you can take it down to $2. You can take it up to $50. I'm sure you won't, but you could. Okay. But seriously, it would be nice to give those people who work hard for you and me to deliver this service. And as I say, this service so far, what have we delivered? We've delivered Agnico Eagle Mines up 33%, Pan American Silver up 25%, gold up 24%, silver up 33%, and XRP up 23%. That's what we've delivered since July the 1st. The S&P, 13%. Nothing like us, nowhere near what we're producing. We work on the truth, okay? Now, as far as the S&P goes, the AI fears are now growing, and I'm going to give you a link at the end of this channel. Have a look at the end of this video, have a look for the link to a CNBC piece which talked about the AI bubble. Now, when the mass media, the narrative mongers that they are, tell you there's a problem or a potential problem, you should listen, because all they really give you normally is good news. They only give you good news. So when they give you bad news, it's normally understated and it's normally happening, otherwise they wouldn't mention it. Okay, because they don't want to be the people who create the problem, which they can be if they stand out and say something really outrageous, like I might if I see it as the truth. So they won't tell you the truth, they'll tell you narrative. But what they're saying is the AI market is, or the AI stocks are probably 20% overvalued. Now, if CNBC says something is 20% overvalued, it's probably 50% overvalued. Okay, it's probably 50%. It's like the Fed saying we may have some employment issues. No, they've got disaster, haven't they? UPS, Amazon, just all the stores that are closing. They've got a jobs disaster. So when they have a problem, it's always, always, always understated. So if CNBC, and I've given you the link, if they see a 20% overvaluation in AI, I can tell you it's more like 50%. Now, what would a 50% fall do in the S&P at this stage or in the near future? What would it do to the markets? It would cause chaos. It would likely hurt the crypto market very badly, because at the moment the crypto and the Nasdaq tend to move together. It's not a perfect correlation, but it's pretty much the way. That will break when we go into crisis, because when we need the new system, and if crypto is chosen as the new system for the West, then crypto will fly. At the moment, I can see nothing out there. I can see no news. I can just see clickbait. I can see sensational stories, but they're saying nothing. And hence, XRP is not going anywhere. It's sitting around $2.50. $2.60 rather, £2. I bought in at 40 pence, 50 cents in November last year. That's when I was told to get involved in crypto, and I did, as a hedge. Gold and silver are my main investments, and look at the performance. Okay, it's the thing is, I often say this when in speaking quickly, I say it's cast iron. Well, it's not cast iron, it's solid gold. Okay, it's solid gold or solid silver. These are the numbers that we've done in a quarter. Well, no, 4 months now. 4 months, so 1/3 of a year, we've got 25% to 33% across the board. Okay, now, as I say, I want this service to be one of truth. And to keep that truth, I have to discard a lot of rubbish every day because it's just noise. And the noise in the crypto market at the moment is phenomenal. It's just noise. So please bear with me on that. Please, if you want the truth, if you don't want to be distracted, if you don't want to be deflected into something that's going to cost you a lot of money, stick with the truth, please. Okay, and do have a look at that link to contribute a little bit of money if you can to the service. It will help me keep Craig on board and my partner here who does all this videography and all the transfer of data, etc. It's quite complicated, and all I do is I'm the research tool. Okay, I'm the research tool. But what I want to tell you and what I want to sort of explain to you, and I have in part, but if you go back through my history, okay, it's a history of macro insight. So in '92, I called the ERM crisis and was $230 million long against sterling. And it happened. No other person could see it in my banking orbit. 18 banks I worked with, none of them could see it. I got it right. I got 2000, most people got .com right, really. But hey, I say that, but look at AI now. How many are getting that right? At the moment, very few. But even CNBC is talking about it now being 20% overvalued. So .com is like a tea party compared to AI. Okay, it is magnitudes larger. And the consequences are going to be magnitudes more because we've got geopolitics and politics all coming together. Okay, I was right in '08 when I said on the radio in Dubai, live on the radio, my debut, I said property would fall 70%. Imagine how popular that was. And imagine how ridiculous it sounded. But I was right. It fell 70% after 9 months. Knight Frank came out with a report. Dubai property 70% down. In 20, I got it right. On LinkedIn, I said that the S&P would fall between 2,000 to 2,200, and it dropped to a bottom at 2198, just 2 points in my range. Spooky, but who cares? My job is to see the truth, use my insight that's called those 4 events, okay? Use that insight to help you. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to deliver the truth, not sensation, not clickbait, not highlights. I'm trying to give you the truth, because only with the truth will you come out of this in a better position than maybe everyone else, but whatever. We're trying to come out of this in a solid financial position in a world which we don't understand yet. We don't understand whether it will be a crypto world, whether it will be a precious metal world, whether it will be a peaceful world. It doesn't look like it, does it? Okay? So I'm all the time trying to help you. I'm trying to find you the very best sources of information, reliable one. And tomorrow, when we do our silver special, our Saturday silver special, okay, we'll look at Michael Oliver, we'll look at David Morgan, we will look at, and another thing, Manico64 will look at, and Mario, I love him. I love Mario, he's a great guy, okay? But I just want to show you another example of why I only work with the truth and why I might need voluntary donations to this service, because I will not take on paid advertisements for other people. Now, I saw a paid section by Redacted, and you probably know the Redacted site, and they pushed a company called USGO, US Gold, okay, and it was at $9 and it went up to 16 and it crashed. It was a pump and dump extraordinaire. It was brilliantly done. Redacted pushed it, okay, the share price went up to 16 and it crashed to 8. Okay, now Mario about a month ago, did the same thing, USGO. So again, paid, subscribe, whatever they call it. He pushed USGO, and it's sad because I can see the reason some of these services have to do it, to earn some money to pay their production staff, etc. I can see that. But it's not healthy. And again, what have we seen? The price pumped up to 13 and is back at 9 again. And all the time, USGO, 3 years in the gold mines, I've seen Agnico go up 300%. I've seen Pan American go up 250%. And I've seen USGO go nowhere. So I don't want to take paid advertisements. I don't want to take them. And it's the same with Eurodollar University, who I love to death. Jeff is brilliant, Jeff Schneider. But again, every episode they push this idea of gold leasing. And I think it's totally the wrong thing to do, is to lease your gold. You buy gold and then you lease it. You earn 4 or 5%, but what's your risk? 100%. 100%. So please, stick with this channel. We're going to bring you the truth. We're going to bring you the results that we have already with gold, silver, Pan American, Agnico, XRP. We brought you the results, okay? And if you can find $2 or $3 each month to send to us, fantastic. It'll pay Craig, it'll pay Anne, and I'll carry on spending 10 hours a day trying to find the truth for you, which is not easy in this world, but we will do it, and we'll do it together. Thank you very much.